Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. It's time to get out the adventure journal and log another entry. Today we'll be scuba diving the Doc Poulson wreck off the west end of the Grand Cayman Island. After about an hour and 10-minute interval, we were back down on the Doc Poulson wreck. This would be my last dive for the day, and dive number 8 on day 2 of the trip. I gave as much information as I had about the Doc Poulson wreck itself and its location in the previous video. So if you haven't seen that and you're interested, check that out. The dive started at about 4:35 in the afternoon and lasted almost exactly an hour. When I was here an hour and 10 minutes ago, I certainly did not see this large grouper. I believe this is a tiger grouper. Tiger groupers range in size from 1 to 2 feet, reaching a maximum of about 3.5 feet, and they're most commonly found in water from 10 to 60 feet in depth. I'd say this one is on the larger size of that scale. I don't think it's quite 3.5 feet, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's every bit of 2 feet, maybe a little bit more. It's pretty well tucked into the spot where I just can't get any closer. This is the deck in front of the wheelhouse moving forward toward the bow. You can see a lot of the decking is gone. It's exposed a great deal of the skeletal support structure. There's a pretty good size opening right here at the bow where I'm able to drop in, but I'm turning around to face aft. Here you'll get a view of the deck looking back toward the wheelhouse. This boat was a cable laying tug, and you can see the machinery right there in front of the wheelhouse that was most likely used for laying the cable. It's December and the days are short, so this dive, starting around 4:35 and lasting almost exactly an hour, really ends as almost a dusk dive. That, in conjunction with the weather, has really stirred up a lot of particulate you can see, so visibility is degraded a little bit. This wreck's been here for many years and survived many storms, so there's quite a bit of sand in the bottom. Here's another look at the wheelhouse. Here's another look at the machinery in front of the wheelhouse. Moving aft toward the wheelhouse on the starboard side, you can really see this wheelhouse is totally encrusted. There were a couple of French angelfish hanging around the wheelhouse on the last dive, and it looks like I see one inside the wheelhouse now. The French angelfish are 10 to 14 inches usually in length, and may sometimes reach a maximum of about 18 inches. Most frequently found in depths of water from 15 to 80 feet. There's another French angelfish on top of the wheelhouse. I really enjoy this dive site, and I'm still amazed at just how encrusted this wreck has become. There's like a whole little ecosystem of life right here on top of the wheelhouse. This angelfish doesn't seem to have any concerns about the camera and is giving me some great photo opportunities. The particulate in the water adds a little extra complication in terms of photography, but I feel like I got a couple really good shots out of this encounter with the angelfish. If you're interested, all of my photos eventually make it to Facebook and or Instagram. You can find my other social media accounts if you just search for Stanley Scuba. I mentioned this being almost a dusk dive, and you can see some of the other divers are already using their torches. Here I'm actually going to go inside the wheelhouse and try to get a little closer and get a couple better shots of those angelfish. There's a pretty good amount of room, but I still have to turn the camera sideways because of the arms with the lights. Unfortunately, this other diver wanted to get some video or photos of the angelfish as well. So I decided to move along and let him have some time. I took the opportunity to enter the wreck, and here we are looking out aft toward the stern. And I'll turn around here and we'll swim through the wreck toward the bow. Turning around now to face forward. Here you can see I'm right behind the wheelhouse, and drop back down facing forward toward the bow. This is the only small opening that I'll have to fit through, and I'll definitely have to turn the camera sideways to get through. As I mentioned earlier, you can see there's quite a bit of sand inside of the wreck. So frog kicking is in order. It doesn't take very long to navigate through the wreck. I'm guessing it's about 80 feet in length. Here I've got to turn the camera again to fit through another little bit larger opening, and then that's the last opening in front of me. This looks like the same porcupine fish I saw here on the last dive. Porcupine fish range in size from 1 to 2 feet, reaching a maximum size of about 3 feet, and are usually found in depths of water from 10 to 60 feet. This is a pretty good sized porcupine fish. They're sometimes called spotted spiny puffers. I think I've also heard some folks call them porcupine puffers, but I believe the correct name is porcupine fish. Got a couple good pictures in here. At least I think they turned out pretty good. And I think the fish is going to head out through that hole. Either way, I think he's had enough of me. Time to move along. Here's a look up through the top. French angelfish. Coming to check things out. Moving through the last, I guess you'd call restriction, and into the space at the bow. Again, this is a square front or tug type of vessel. And here we are back at the bow, facing aft, and now moving down the port side back to the wheelhouse. Here we are back at the top of the wheelhouse. It's a great little scene here. Got a couple of wonderful pictures. I really enjoy what's going on here on top of the wheelhouse with these sponges, and we've got a variety of different size and different color fish moving around. Great spot to take some pictures. Coming around the top of the wheelhouse again. This thing is just totally encrusted. What a great scene for pictures. This is just an awesome dive site. I really enjoy the Poulson wreck. It's a great dive site, great place to take pictures and shoot video, and there's a nice reef just adjacent to the wreck. I didn't spend a lot of time on the reef on the first dive. I did spend a little and almost no time on the reef on the second dive.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.